graders, on Friday we did talk about the power rule. So I wanted to just remind you, when we have two exponents here, we can multiply them together. So here would be 3 times 2 would get us to 5, 6. So whatever it is, we could do that. Now remember, if we have a number in front of our variable, we also have to raise that to that power. So I wanted to give you a couple more advanced examples of our power rule. So if I have x squared y cubed, and that is all being raised to the 4th power, I have to multiply this by both of these exponents. So I would say x to the 2 times 4, which is 8, and y to the 3 times 4, which is 12. If I had a number in front of that, let's say 3, x squared y cubed, to the all raised to the 4th power, I have to take this 3 to the 4th power, because really this is 3 to the 1st power. 1 times 4 is 4. And then we just said this would be x to the 8th, y to the 12th. But we would need to simplify this coefficient. So remember, that means we write 3 4 times, and it's being multiplied. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27, times 3 would be 21, 81. So our simplified answer would be 81 x to the 8th power, y to the 12th power. Okay, do you see how that works? Now, if our number happened to be in front, just say, for example, we had a 17, and then we had c to the 3rd power, d to the 7th power, and that was being raised to the 3rd power. This doesn't apply to the 17, right? Because the 17 isn't within the parentheses. So I would just say 17, c, 3 times 3 is 9, 7 times 3 is 21. That's all you have to do for that, right? Does that make sense? Now remember, sometimes our exponent of our first number is just to the 1st power. If it's to the 1st power, we don't write that. It would just look something like 2rs to the 6th power. And if this was raised to the 7th power, we're assuming that this 2 is just 1, 2. And this r is just 1r. Because remember, we would just write it that number of times. We would write s 6 times, right, to show that. But this is what that is showing. Okay? All of that is being multiplied. So we're going to multiply our exponents together since we have this whole grouping raised to the 7th power. So 2 raised to the 1 times 7, which is 7. R raised to the 1 times 7, which is also 7. And s raised to the 6 times 7. So we cannot leave this here because we have to simplify 2 to the 7th power. So I would write 2 7 times. 4, 5, 6, 7. And we know exponents show repeated multiplication. So I'm going to multiply these together. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64, times 2 is 128. So this would equal 128 r to the 7th power s to the 6th power. Okay? So just a little bit more look at the advanced power rules. So don't forget to complete the boom cards today. One will be a good review of both the power rule and the product rule, and one will just have mostly power rule. All right, have a fantastic day.